Oh, gosh. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Um, Sorry, there's something in my eyes. Sorry about the delay. I was having trouble getting things working. Um, but I think I have everything working. Hopefully it lasts. Um, I guess we'll see. What are we doing today? We're gonna watch a video. Now this is well, sort of. This is the video I attempted to make for while I was away back in June for my playthrough of, uh, well, we'll get to that in a second, of Stellaris that I did for that video. And for reasons that I still can't figure out, um, it never, my video editing software did not process the video into a proper video. So we're going to watch this video. You're going to hear a lot of past Flessa speaking, and you're going to see some notes that I made in editing Flessa, as editing Flessa, and then maybe you'll hear some commentary from me, current Flessa, at the same time. We may skip over some stuff. Without any further ado, let's go over to the screen. Hopefully this works. Yeah, there we go. So let's actually fix OBS there a little bit. So this is the video. We've kind of focused on the screen. So without any further ado, I'm going to let past Fleza talk and kind of go quiet myself. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Fleza. Today, while I am gone, I bring you the playthrough I was talking about. Obviously, we are not gone. The dolphins that are going to worship the dragon here in Stellaris. And I want to say before I dive into this, I was actually making this game before, but there's some issues going on, and I decided to scrap it, that previous playthrough, and redo it here. So this is actually in the Overlord expansion update now. So there will be some changes compared to how I was originally going to end up playing it. But if you will please forgive me for that, it'd be appreciated. So this is the build that we're going to go with. I was really wordy. For our people, of course, here be dragons. Of course, our deity is our dragon that's going to be in our system. And then I'm going to use, well, I hope I'm going to be able to use a kind of exploit that I've learned. Well, not exactly exploit, but situation I've learned about using this particular build, which relies on Xenophile here and a little bit of feudal society. But yeah, before past Fleza continues, I've kind of just realized I never explained, what the Draphin, they're called the Draphins theocracy. Because I'm great with names, I merged dragon and dolphin together. That's how I came up with Draphin. And then theocracy, because obviously they're kind of worshipping the dragon, so it made sense to, in my opinion at least, be a kind of theocracy type thing. Of course, I didn't really go with any sort of real hardcore what's the term I'm looking for? I forget what they're called at the moment. Civics. Civics. I didn't go the theocratic or the priesthood civics. Those are the civics. That's what they're called. Yeah, we went a feudal society and diplomatic corps. Then we went a mix of authoritarian, xenophile, and spiritualist. Spiritualist was the big part that allowed us to kind of get the psionics going later on. And then we went aquatic rapid readers, intelligent, and then for negatives we did unruly and deviants. Anyway, let's resume. This is a long video. Set up the map here. See, okay, this is what it did all the time as it was trying to encode. It would stop like, what is this? Not even quite 2 minutes in. For some reason, it would just stop. And it had to do with this first. I think if it had to deal with this first comment by editing Flezza. Now we're gonna go. Editing Flezza did not do a good job, apparently, of getting things right. Let's basically, I regretted a lot of these settings, and you'll kind of find out why maybe a little later. And now it's not even. Now it doesn't even want to do things properly. Here we go. Let's see if we can. There we go. Now, one of the key things that we're going to do here with this particular build, we are trying to go the psychic, or the psychic transcendence route for elevation, ascension. Basically, yeah, we have already known the dragon. We worship the dragon, after all. So let's first crank up the speed. Let's shut down all these things that I don't really need. Okay. I'm gonna. So actually, I'll let as an editing Flezza, because I know editing Flezza made a comment about this. Let me mute this for speed ups here, because then it will get very annoying. But yeah, let's get the where's the comment from editing Flezza. Okay, here we go. It's coming right up now. And it didn't like this comment either, apparently. Editing Flezza, what did you have to say without speed ups like this? The whole video clocked in at over 12 hours. Yes, it really did. It took me over 12 hours to complete this playthrough. And now we're having a problem with YouTube and OBS. So the idea was that I, speed up and then return to normal speed on the video at critical moments. There actually weren't a ton of critical moments, but we're about to have some slower moments. Come on. And wherever the first one is. Wherever the first one is. Transcendence and Psychic. Mind over matter. There it is. They're right next to each other. So there's 2.
Oh, this is me figuring out my Ascension perks.
We don't need Colossus Project. We're not taking Become Crisis, Hydrocentric. Not taking Engineering. May take World Shaper. I'm not 100% certain. Probably going to take Defender of the Galaxy here later on.
I think I made some changes.
We don't even need
later in the
even
game.
though I like Master Builders and Galactic Wonders, we don't really need those. So I think we may end up not taking those. We at least won't take Galactic Wonders. We don't need Galactic Wonders for this playthrough. And if we don't need Galactic Wonders, then we don't really need Master Builders, in my opinion. So that opens up a lot of possibilities for us. We're going to take... Now, we're going to want to have Shared Destiny here. We don't need it quite yet.
Not quite.
We're going to take one vision here, and that's going to increase our unity, which we're going to need to get more of this stuff. It kind of makes sense in a way. We are doing this a more RP kind of build. So, you know, it makes a little more sense that we're playing this in a manner that is...
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
In a manner that is slightly more our kind of style, I guess.
Yes. So that. Let's skip to... We may do a lot of skipping here, actually, because like you saw from Editing Fleza told you that this ended up being over 12 hours long. I think it clocked in at 12 hours and 40 something minutes of raw gameplay footage, unedited gameplay footage. Even after I edited it down with all these speed ups like this, it ended up being, the video in total ended up being still, actually I can see right here, it ended up being 2 hours 41 minutes still. So I basically shrunk 10 hours down into nothing, you know, cropped 12 or 10 hours out of it. But you know, it just is what it is. So let's do a little skip here. So we skipped a little bit forward here. Oh, come on. There we go. The dragon came down to our planet.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Let's actually replay that. Let's see what Past Fleza had to say about that. I forget.
Ooh. Oh no.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Our dragon has landed.
The dragon has landed. All hail the dragon. Oh, crap. See, this did not like. I guess it must be the comments that editing Flezza added to the video that caused it to glitch out. That seems to be the only consistent thing I can find. So let's do another little skip here. So yeah, to summarize basically what was going on at this point, we were turning, oh, there it goes. There's so much to this video that my video editor apparently could not really handle it. I don't know. Oh gosh. Now it's not even loading the video. Come on. Oh man. This is embarrassing. Let's see if we can relaunch this thing. I think I may just need to skip all the comments that that editing Flezza made. Of course, this was editing Flezza. So let me tell you a little story here. I did not budget my time correctly when I was planning this playthrough. So I ended up the weekend before I left finishing the playthrough. And then I left on the Sunday. I was going to leave on the I left on the Sunday to head to the event that I was going to. Now, I didn't so I didn't finish recording all the video footage until I want to say it was around 3 or 4 in the morning local time when okay, I think we got it working again. It was around 3 or 4 in the morning local time when I finished recording the raw footage. And oh gosh, we're having a coding issue again. Is it working? Oh, OBS. No. Oh. Hang on, let's go back. let's zoom in here and go back to what was going on here. Anyway, let me finish my story really quick. So I finished at probably like 3 or 4 in the morning, I think, local time. And so I was like, okay, I finished it, good. Actually, that was with editing too. I finished playing, I edited it all together, I had it in this 2-hour 41-minute video, and I hit the compile it all together into one video. There's several videos spliced together in the end to get the 12, and it was over 12 hours, like I said. So I finished recording them all and editing it all about 3-4 in the morning. I think that's when it was. I hit the compile it all into one video so that I could upload it and all that jazz. And that's when it wouldn't compile it into one video. So I said, oh crap, that's not good. I tried it a few more times to get it working. I wasn't doing it. Time was ticking, and I still hadn't even packed to leave. And I wanted to leave. The latest, it was around like 10 or 11 o'clock, 10:30 maybe. I wanted to leave so I could get to where I was going by about noon. Anyway, so I said, well, this isn't working, and I'm running out of time. I had to run a quick errand on Sunday morning before I left too. So I was like, okay, well, I'm out. Maybe what I can do, I have enough time, I will have OBS record my screen playing this video while I'm gone. That'll work. It'll all be one video then, and that I can just clip the end if I ran a bit over, and and then I could upload it. No problem whatsoever. No problem. So I started that. I started OBS recording the video, playing on my screen. Went to run my errand because I was like, okay, it'll take 2 hours 41 minutes to record the entire thing. And it took me about an hour, almost 2 hours to run my errand. So between an extra 20 minutes before, 20 minutes after ish, I'd be able to come in and stop it, stop the recording right when it ended, maybe, or before, or whatever, you know what I mean. So I get back from my errand and I take a look at my screen, and that's when I saw that it had glitched out not even 2 minutes into the recording, because it couldn't get past the first comment thing. Like I said, it seems the comments that I made as editing flesa seem to have caused, I don't know, it seems to have caused my video editor to act up. I don't know what it is. I really have no idea what it is. But it seems to have acted up. So anyway, let's resume with what Pastolism was looking at. No! They went and killed themselves. Oh.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Well, I guess we'll go and make use of this. I can't believe they went and killed themselves. I guess we'll have to grab these guys. They have no agricultural districts at all. So basically what I was doing, because Past Flesa did not thoroughly explain what was going on, we were attempting to basically force create a subject by uplifting a primitive race, and we were going to turn them into a vassal state. After uplifting them into our empire, basically. Gosh, OBS is having major issues here. Hang on. Let's see if we can fix OBS, which maybe will make it a little bit stable. Maybe? Let's go with that. Okay. Okay. So we were trying to first uplift a primitive race, and that's basically what happened. We started uplifting that race, and then they went nuclear war on themselves and nuked themselves into oblivion. Kind of useless if they're all dead. But anyway, so now we decided to go after another race and uplift them. So let's skip ahead here, because really nothing very exciting happens here. That's why we sped it up anyway. Oh, hang on, I think this is where something interesting happens again. Well, there's another comment coming up from editing Flezza.
But I want to move the friendly first.
Yep, another comment from editing Flezza. Teresa. I think editing Flezza messed up this video somehow. Oh, now my video editor has entirely crashed. You don't want. So, I think I might just be better off just telling you kind of the story of what happened, rather than continue to play a video that's going to completely crap out here and there and, do all kinds of weird stuff. So, what was about to just happen there was okay, if you've never played Stellaris before, there's an event in the game where you come across a race of they're kind of like gecko looking kind of things, or at least every time I've encountered this particular event, they've been these gecko looking type things, where they're kind of encased in this, where according to the event they're encased in a time loop field that keeps reverting them back, and they keep growing their civilization. They destroy themselves, it loops them back to like primitive society. They build up again, they nuke themselves into oblivion, blah 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 blah, over and over and over. You have the option to release them or fix the leaking temporal loop energies, or I think the other option is just leave it be. I can't remember. I think there's 3 options, but the 2 primarily that you want to focus on are either fix the thing or release them from it. If you release them from it, turns out they're freaking hostile things. They do not like anybody, and they will try and kill everybody. Fortunately, like, they're not very strong, at least at the beginning, but they grow stronger over time. You know, just like a normal AI empire in the game. But because they always look like geckos, and I can't help myself, I think I call them the Geico geckos all the time. You know, those commercials are very funny to watch. Anyway, so they got released by the empire that was like galactically south of me. Maybe I should like draw a little map here in Paint. Let's see if I can do this. Wow, where is my mouse? There is my mouse. Let's move OBS around here. Hey, look at this. We're gonna grab Paint here. Okay, why is it not showing Paint? Come on, OBS. Seriously? Okay, let's try this on something else. There we go. Okay, let's imagine the galaxy kind of like this. Now, right around here, that's where our empire was. Draphin. And actually, let's there we go. So that's the center of the galaxy. You know, basically we had the galaxy all around over here. So we had they're kind of like owls here. And they were kind of our next door neighbors, like our immediate next door neighbors. They were kind of on the inside, the inner ring of the galaxy here. And then we had, I think they were like some kind of reptile or something over here. And I think they were like science-y dudes, if I recall correctly. And then we had, I forget what color they were, what general color. We're going to give them darker blue. And then we had like some sort of empire up here. So those were our kind of three big neighbors. Then we had, then the Psi guys down here, they released the geckos right here. Geckos. Now the thing about the geckos is they could only go this way into the Psi guys. And actually, not too far in, we developed a small little empire, which became our first vassal, right here. We'll give them the number 1. By uplifting those primitives, uplifting a set of primitives, and then, giving them independence, but leaving them as a vassal. So, what we did then is we developed a hegemony, which in the game allows us to basically it's like an alliance, and we we named our alliance the exact same thing as our empire. So I made a hegemony. And the cool thing about this, and this is kind of what I was referring to when I was talking about using an exploit, so to speak, to conquer the galaxy, is basically we could recommend somebody for vassalization, which under the new Overlord mechanics, or at least at the time of making this video, we could give a whole bunch of benefits from being Overlord, because we were the Overlord, to the vassal. We could give a whole bunch of benefits to them, or more positive terms, so long as they, just admitted that we were the overlord over them. However, we could override these benevolent terms with the hegemony terms, which made them bound subjects to us. Bound and overridden terms. Using a mouse to write is not the easiest. Anyway, so we bound our first vassal to us in that direction, which gave us the core of the hegemony, and we also changed the hegemony governing type to whoever had the strongest diplomatic weight. Well, between the two of us, I had the stronger one. It was just a matter of keeping my diplomatic weight then stronger than everybody else that I vassalized, which bring them into the hegemony, and so on. So, after we took out the geckos. The geckos were taken out, and we bound the Psi guys to the hegemony too, which expanded that. And I don't remember exactly how all the empires went, or the exact names of all the empires. However, there are 2 more that I want to specifically bring to light here. We're going to use lime green. Hopefully we can see that. Can we see that? Yeah, we can sort of see that. So right here on the inside rim is the first one. And then actually we're going to use red again. We're going to use red for the empire that was kind of up here. Now the red one we'll call the clan. Not... You'll understand why I call it the clan here in a few moments. And this one we'll call the Commonwealth. Or just common for short. Now, Let's start with the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is a group of fox-like entities, which I think actually I used the artwork for in one of the Stellaris playthroughs that I did on the channel here. Actually, it wasn't the same one, but the what I called the Sinrathi Commonwealth. Let me spell that out for you. SINRATHI. It was the Sinrathi Commonwealth. And the Sinrathi Commonwealth is very special because they were the very first custom empire I ever created. And actually, I haven't played any of the pre-made empires. Always played my own custom empires. So it was actually even the very first Stellaris empire that I ever made and ever played as. The Sinrathi. So it was very special to have the AI kind of auto selected empires to seed the rest of this galaxy with. It chose them. It was very special. And I knew as soon as I made contact with them and met them, I was like, you have to be part of my empire. I cannot destroy you. I must incorporate you into the Draphin theocracy. And it's actually very much the same with the clan here. The clan is it was the Camodile clan, who are a bunch of barbaric, warmongering crocodilians. It was very. They weren't the first empire that I made, but they were one of them. They were one, among some of the early plays that I attempted to make. I don't think I ever finished the Camodile clans playthrough. And actually, here's another little trivia piece. The Sinrathi, the very first time I played them, I actually lost. So my very first experience with Stellaris was a loss. But the second time I actually won. But then I played with them again, and I actually won the second game. Anyway, enough side stories. So then, I know that we kind of claimed this next empire. There was a big empire, right about here. And this one we turned specifically into, we're just going to call them a bulwark, which is a vassalization type which specializes in defense. And that's because at the time there were various small empires over in this area, and we weren't 100% certain what was going on over here. So I kind of turned this. Believe these guys were insects. The bulwark was an insect, or maybe it was a fungus. I can't remember. But we turned them into kind of the shield against these various independent states. These were a couple, 2 or 3 larger empires that kind of fractured from civil wars and broke into little empires or something. So we had we had the Sinrathi over here, and then we had a couple other little empires over here as well, kind of going on. And then I think there was 2 or 3 big ones over here. So that was kind of the rough layout of the galaxy here. Now about mid-game, we had the Khan event, which at the time, actually, we had even expanded our influence a little further. I think like this section was now under our control, under the our hegemony theocracy, and actually I think this section was as well. And then this empire was also part of the theocracy. I don't think we had the Sinrathi quite yet, but we were very close to. I think they might have been in an alliance with us or something at least. But then we had the Khan event, which is a mid-game crisis, basically marauding a marauding a group of marauders decided to band together and try and take over the galaxy, and they spawned up in here, right about right here, and they just kind of mostly decimated this empire as they kind of expanded outward. Now, I think at the time, maybe we were trying to bring this section under control. I think at the time we were trying to bring this section under our control, because I kind of wanted to do a nice kind of ring almost, working my way around. But this section proved like I think it was suffering like 2 civil wars and a robot uprising. It was just a mess over here. So all my fleets were kind of over in this section, trying to claim and settle disputes and all that kind of stuff. So the Khan Empire started taking out our ally, our member here, and they just put a whole hurting on there, and they started carving into the Sinrathi too. I was like, no, they can't do that. We have to save the Sinrathi. So we quickly shot up into the Sinrathi. We actually saved the Sinrathi first, rather than our own hegemony member, and then pushed the Khans back, and then we came in and we also pushed them back this way and up and out this way, liberating all the planets, because we weren't going to be military conquerors in this one. We were always diplomatically conquering, and I think and we kind of pushed, like I said, we pushed them out and of where did my mouse go? There it is. We pushed them out, and as a result, I think the Sinrathi, that was the point that they joined us, and this group ended up joining us because we saved them, even though they didn't really like us before. And because the Sinrathi joined us, the owls actually were submissive to the Sinrathi. The owls ended up joining us too, which was very nice. Which left us pretty much with only 2 sections of the galaxy. This kind of upper northern quadrant here, and then this one section that was still not under our control down there. But I think at that point it settled down to 2 empires just remaining. Actually, next, the Camodiles joined us. We managed to convince the Camodiles to join us. So specifically target them as like, no, you must join us. I was going to turn them into another bulwark, but I was like, no, that was too much. And I was just having fun. So there was like 4 more up here. The Empire that was here then joined us, which was very interesting. So that basically left us with like 6 empires left to kind of conquer. So we started diplomatically getting on good terms with everybody, and we were like, hey, come be part of the hegemony. It's very nice, it's very fun. And so then these guys were like, okay, and these guys were like, okay, and then these guys were like, okay, and then these guys were okay. And so it's just these last 2 down here in the corner. Just these last two. That was all that was left, with these two down here. While our fleets were still over here, this empire here kind of broke into civil war, and the empire broke into civil war at basically the same time. Well, apparently, according to the game rules, you can't vassalize other empires while you're at war. So because those two factions broke away from the empire, and it was this other one here, we were at war because they had basically broke away from their small little stellar empires here. They had also broken away from the hegemony and were attacking the hegemony members. So therefore the hegemony was at war, which means I was at war, which means I couldn't vassalize the final two empires. It's really frustrating. So I was like, fine, I will crush these rebellions, but then I will vassalize these last two. Easily crushed the rebellions. I will say, easily crushed them. They had no fleet power that could stand up to mine. My fleets, I had fleets of battleships that were like in the several 100,000 fleet power. They had nothing. They had nothing capable of stopping those. Easily crushed those two rebellions. For some reason, though, that I still to this day can't figure out why. Even though I had crushed all their fleets, they had no more ships whatsoever in space. I had sent armies to the very few planets they had taken, crushed the armies, was occupying all the planets of these two rebellious states. Now, typically, when that happens, they have no ships, they have no systems under their control. And you've at least occupied all the planets that were under their control. The game says, oh, you've thoroughly thrashed them and defeated them. Automatic surrender, you win the war against them. For some reason, it did not acknowledge that in this civil war that was going on, the one right here, kind of just southeast of the Kamodile clan, for some reason, it did not complete that civil war, and they would not, I would go through terms to try and diplomatically is like, okay, you've clearly lost, you have no forces, what are you gonna do? For some reason it did not, they wouldn't accept the defeat that way, even though they were completely defeated. I have no idea what it was. So because I was still at war with them, with this rebellion, I couldn't vassalize these final two empires, bring them into the hegemony, and unify the galaxy completely. What's going on? And at some point, it was such a minor footnote, I almost completely forgot. At some point, we had the endgame crisis, too, which I believe it was the Praetorian Scourge. Extra galactic aliens that came in and invaded. I think they invaded, if I recall correctly, I believe they invaded here into our bulwark, which is like perfect for repelling them. It was so insignificant. I like easily repulsed them. That's how uneventful that was. Oh no, wait. It wasn't over here. It wasn't over here in the bulwark. It was actually up here. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. It was up here, and that's that's the other part of the reason that this empire submitted to us. It's like, oh, you helped us, fight off the scourge that was attacking us and decimating us. Anyway, so yeah, because and usually that's about when the game says, oh, end, you won, basically. Yeah, I got elected to continue because I wanted to unify the entirety of the galaxy under the hegemony. Anyway, was still at war with this rebellion here, so I couldn't vassalize these final two empires. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Finally, I think it was like after 2 hours, I think I felt it, or at least it felt like 2 hours of gameplay. I was like, I can't fix this. So I just said, you know what? At that point, it's clear that we kind of took over the galaxy. We crushed that rebellion. We should have been at peace. We had those two remaining empires all lined up. All I had to do was propose the vassal contract to them, and they were pretty much guaranteed to accept it because we had positive relations with them, which would have bound them to the hegemony I would have ruled. The end. It's, the hegemony rules entirely. I think I was Galactic Custodian too at that point. I can't remember whether I had managed to get that passed or not. But yeah, it was me as the Draphins. The Sinrathi were, I think, the second most powerful empire behind us, which is like yay. And I think the Owls here were like number 3. I think the Kamadiles were like number 5. I don't remember. It's been like 2 months since I, last looked at this video. Anyway, so yeah, that's the story of the Draphins. Sorry that the video ended up being crap. It was not how I intended, tonight's stream to go, certainly. But sometimes, you just gotta end up doing the way you gotta adapt and improvise, overcome, right? That's what the meme is. Anyway, thank you so much for coming, everybody. It's kind of a short one. Gosh, feels like everything was short this week. But nice recap. I think that's what's important of what's going on. So therefore, I feel like I now finally fulfilled the obligation that I've made about showing, or at least telling you guys about the psychic Draphon dolphin people, dragon worshipping dolphins. Oh man. Alright. Tomorrow we're having a very relaxed stream. We're learning Japanese. We're finally diving into learning Japanese. So, stop by, maybe learn some Japanese with me. Until then, everybody, take care, stay safe, all that wonderful stuff. My name is Liza. Again, thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.